I'm thrilled to introduce Midas, who we're very lucky to have with us today to take us through Canva 101 and some presentation basics. So I shall hand over to you, Midas.
All right, thank you, Jess. So good day, everyone. I hope we're all having a great day so far. So I would like to welcome you guys to today's webinar. All right, I know we are all excited to learn a lot today. Now it's my turn. Like just mentioned, I am Midas Savior and want to thank everyone for attending this webinar and a little background about me. So I'm handling the disputes and fraud concerns of Canva. I've been with Canva for almost 2 years now. Prior to that, I am from the customer happiness team wherein I answer email concerns if you have any issues when it comes to technical billing or print. And aside from that, what I also do is I teach people how to use Canva to create designs and presentations. That's what we will be doing today. All right. Now, our agenda for today is to discuss what Canva is and Canva 101. I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks that you can use for you to easily navigate and easy to use Canva. Also, we'll be discussing how to create impressive and engaging presentations. All right. And also, I want you guys to please stay tuned up until the end of the session because Jess and we have an amazing surprise for all of you guys. All right. Now, let's start with this question. What is Canva? So Jess already asked earlier your expertise with Canva, but on the chat, can you comment one if you know or if you already use Canva? And then comment two if you've never heard of and used Canva or never actually used Canva. I love Canva. Thank you. We love you too. Already using Canva. So we have a lot of, all right. I use it all the time. 3 years. Nice. And I love the engagement here. Like the chat is it's crazy. All right. Use it often, but want to improve. Yes. All right. Hopefully we'll be able to do that for you today. There you go. All the time using it. Great. Nice responses. Thank you guys. I'm going to play a short video here for you.
Design isn't just for designers. It's for everyone. With Canva, anyone can create, customize, and share a design in just a few clicks. Start designing for free at canva.com.
All right, there. Now, Canva is an online design tool that enables you to easily create beautiful and engaging designs with thousands of templates to choose from. So whether you are creative or not, you will be able to design easily and beautifully with Canva. Because we have a lot of templates, like thousands of templates that you can use. What you just need to do is to edit it to make it your own. We know that the usual way of creating good design is complex. Like you had to purchase a software, you had to know how to design or hire someone who knows how to. You need also to purchase stock photos, illustrations, and fonts before you can actually work on a layout. So it was a very long process of getting to the end point where your design is ready for printing or posting it online, right? Do you agree? Yeah. But with Canva, we made it simple and integrated because one of our core values is to make complex things simple, wherein you can collaborate online with your teams. You can have one-click access to design tools that you will be needing for your design. You will have a library of millions of media that you need for your design. One-click export directly to your social networks or as different downloadable files like JPEG, PNG, PDF to have you design anything and publish anywhere. Because our goal is to empower the world to design, right? So that's it for like brief introduction to what Canva is. Now let's go to the first part of our webinar, which is Canva 101. There you go. So if you are in front of your computer right now, I suggest going to your Canva account so that you could do this with me. So you would be familiar on how to use Canva, how to navigate it better. All right. So this is what our homepage looks like. Let's take a look inside and find what you need to start designing. Okay. Now, let's play this. There you go. So in Canva, you can design anything. So we have 1,000 of templates for you to choose from. And there are 3 ways to find the perfect template. First is you can type the keywords in the search bar. So for this, let's say we're going to create a logo. So just type in logo. And then the second option is to browse through our document themes. So if it's for social media, if it's for prints, just select from these themes. And the third will be just scrolling down to the homepage. As you can see, there are already a lot of options for you to choose from. And you can also enter a custom dimension if you have an exact size for your template. All right, and just click on create a design. And then on the sidebar, this helps you organize your designs. So we have all your designs tab, wherein you can find all the designs that you created in Canva. And then we have shared with you, wherein you can see all the designs that were shared with you by your teammates, by other Canva users too. And all your folders, wherein you can see all the folders that you created within Canva. All right, there you go. So as you can see, it is so easy to navigate our homepage, right? Now, let's start editing let's start designing. So this is what our editor looks like. And we will go over this one by one. There you go. Let's play this video. There. So to start designing, select a template and start with the design. So let's say we're gonna create an Instagram post. So just type it in. And then for now, let's select a blank template. All right, so this is our editor. And then over the side panel, this is where you can find all the things that you can add to your design, like photos, elements, text, video, and even music. All right? And then let's start with templates. In templates, this is where you can find all the readily available templates that you can choose. So again, you can just scroll down or you can search. And then on uploads, you could upload your own picture, your own video, and even audio directly from your device, from Facebook, Google Drive. There you go. So it's uploading there. And then in our photo library, you could search by typing in the keyword. So let's say we're going to look for beach. And then to search for more specific picture, just add the plus sign and then the other keyword. So for this example, we're going to be searching for beach and sunset. So beach plus sunset. Right? And then over to elements or graphics tab, this is where you can find shapes, illustrations, frames, animated stickers, and charts, and many more. With this, you can search the same way as what you will do in searching for a picture. So let's say palm trees, right? There you go. And aside from that, we also have our video library. So in this tab, you can see all the videos that is also readily available that you can use in your design. There, right? So to start, let's choose a template. So let's say we're going to be using this one. There you go. So like what I've mentioned earlier, you can select a template and then just edit the content for you to be able to make it your own. Just like what is showing on the video here, which we'll be doing later on. All right. Now, let's start editing. So it's super easy to edit your design to make it truly your own. And this is how we are going to be able to do it. There. So for you to be able to edit your design, you have to select an object, right? And on the toolbar, you can edit the text format, the style, and then you could also add a text effect. And then you could position objects and more. Like we will have an activity later on so that you will be more familiar about this. And then to edit the text, just double click it and then type in your message and use the toolbar to change the size and change the alignment or even the spacing or the height of the text. All right. You could also change the fonts. So with fonts, you can search by category to find the best font for your design. So like serif category, and then or let's use Belfair font. There you go. And then for the elements in your design, we are also able to change the color. All right. So click on the element and then the color square should show and then change it to any color that you like, or by using the hex code, which is the number and letter combination. Yeah, this 476CDC. So this is the hex code. All right. And then to align your elements perfectly, you can use a position feature. So you can put it like to back. This is for layering your elements. And then to replace the image on your design, just click the image and then drag and drop to your design. As you can see, it automatically populates the design. And then if at any point you need to undo, just click on the undo button. All right, there you go. Seize this. And then if you want to animate your design, just click on the entire page and then click animate and then choose your style. All right, so pan. It's easy, right? Now, since we're done creating the design or editing it, let's start sharing it. So when you're done with your design, definitely it's time to share it to the world, right? And it's so easy when it comes to sharing your design. There you go. So design actually, as soon as you create a design, it saves automatically every time you make changes to your design. But just to be sure, you can save it manually too by clicking on File and then click Save. Make sure that you are able to save everything. And then since we're done with the design, you can share your designs with your friends, clients, teammates by email or by sending them a link to your design, wherein you will have an option or a section if they can edit or if they can only view the design, and then click send. There you go. And aside from that, this is what I mentioned earlier about easy collaboration with Canva. So you can also have your teammates to collaborate with your design. Just click on this comment icon and then leave a comment. So for this, it says, what do you think of this photo? Click comment. And then automatically they will get a notification about this comment. All right. And then they could just easily reply to it. Awesome, right? So again, when your design is also complete, you can now download it also as a different downloadable file. So you could download it as PNG, JPEG, PDF, or MP4, and even GIFs if you have animation. All right. And then aside from that, the other option in sharing your design is by connecting your Canva account to post directly to your social media channels like Facebook page, right? And last way of sharing it is by printing your design with Canva print. So you could print it as on your t-shirt, on t-shirts, business cards, posters, flyers, and so on. All right. There you go. So I know you guys are all excited to try it out. I'm seeing the comments here, the chat. You do have a lot of questions. I think it's better if you will have a hands-on experience about this. Now, because of that, we will have some activity. So Jess will be sending you the link to your workbook, but it's here. So it's bit.ly/Canva101 activity. So this activity book, once you click this link, just choose the option to use as template so that it will automatically save on your Canva account. So that means even after this webinar or after this session, you can use it to practice, you can play around with it. So that's already your copy, right? And while you're at it, so the activity that we will be doing, I want you guys to do it with me so that again you will have first-hand experience on navigating through Canva. Okay? So first thing, our first activity will be inserting a text in your design. So one way of doing it is by pressing letter T on your keyboard. Let's do it together. All right, there you go. So again, to edit this, just double click or select the text and then type in your message. Right, it's as easy as that. So for me, this is very convenient, especially if you're creating presentations or design that you need, like if it's urgent, right? There you go. So with this, if you want to edit, if you want to change the font or do some customization to make it your own, just double click the text again and then go to the font selection. So you could just click this and then from there you could select different type of fonts. All right. So let's say we're going to be using this. There you go. So aside from changing the font style, you could also change the size, change the color. There. You could actually, you could do a lot of customization here. You could have an effect there. You could even animate it. Or if you want to change or edit the letter spacing, you could also do that. All right. Now, the other way of inserting a text to your design is by going to the text tab on your side panel. So this is where you can find it. So the difference is that with the text tab, there will already be a lot of font combinations that you can choose from, because I know sometimes it takes, selecting font combination is really overwhelming, especially if you have a lot of font options, right? So going back, inserting a text tab by selecting text on your side panel, just select from all of the options that you have here that you can see. All right. So with this one, let's say we're going to be using this. Just click it or select it. There you go. And same thing, if you want to edit it, just double click the text. All right. So as you can see with this, it's already paired with another font that goes better with this. All right. Okay. Now, another tip or tricks that I can show you is if you want to add a shape to your design, and this is a shortcut that you can use. So by pressing letter L on your editor, there you go. So automatically there will be line on your design. So you can adjust it, you can change the color. You can even animate it. Or you could put a line start or line end there. So depending on what you need for your design. There. And then if you want to insert a rectangle, just press letter R there. Or you can also use this if you want to insert a square. And same thing, just click it to change the color. There. And lastly, if you want to insert a circle in your design, just click on, just press letter C on your keyboard. There. And then let's change the color. Green. Now you could layer it. There you go. So other than that, what you can also do in Canva is you could play around with colors. So remember earlier, I showed you where you can find all the elements or graphics in your design, right? So all of the graphics that we have here, you're not limited or you're not tied to what the color is. So for example, this one, just click the element or the graphic, and then the color box should appear. If you want to change the color, you could do that by clicking it. There you go. So really, it depends on the design that you will be creating. You can even rotate it, right? And then let's say for this building, I want to change the color. We could also do that. There, change the color of the other building. There you go. Or for this one, let's change the color of their shirts to red. All right. There you go. And other than that, you could also add fun elements to your design. So you could put in an illustration. So let's go to elements again and then graphics. So same thing, we could choose an illustration or any graphics. So this one is already categorized depending on the theme, right? So let's say food. There you go. You could also insert a sticker. You can also find that here under elements. So stickers, just click on see all. So stickers, this is very fun. I would suggest using this on your presentation just so that your presentation would look engaging or lively rather than having it with just full text on, right? So let's say we'll use this. Or you could also insert a picture on your design. So again, earlier, I showed you how you can upload your own picture. So you have an option to use pictures already on our library, photo library, or you can upload your own picture. So let's say for this, let's use my own picture. All right. And then video. So for video, you could also go to the side panel to select a video for your design. Now, if you cannot find it here on the side panel, what you need to do is just click on more, right? And then you should be able to find it here, video. All right. So let's say we're gonna go with this. There you go. All right. Now, other thing that you can also do with Canva is that personally, I find this really helpful, especially for layering your elements. I saw a question earlier on the chat about grouping elements. So this is how you can do it. So there are some cases wherein you need to layer elements to achieve like a specific design for like this example. So this is like 3 different elements, right? Let's say you want to move this entire element to this. To move this or change the size, but it's really hard if you're gonna do it one by one, right? And it's not ideal. So what you can do is to select all of the elements that you want to group, and then you could press Command or Control G on your keyboard. Then automatically it will group together. All right. And then if you want to resize it, there you go.
It's
All of
9
the
o'clock.
elements within that group would automatically adjust as well. All right. There. And then if you want to ungroup it, just select the grouped element again, and then Shift, Command, and G. There you go. All right. Now, let's go to grids and frames. So this is very, for me, this is also helpful, especially like if I'll be posting something on Facebook or in social media with like 2 or more pictures. So definitely it's ideal to use grids or frames, right? So for you to be able to do that, just click on elements, right? And then just scroll down for you to find frames and grids. So frames and grids, they work the same way. So with frames, yeah, this is like if you want to add a frame to your picture, you could use this. Or for grids, let's use grids. Hold on. There you go. Let's say we're gonna go with this. There. So here's the thing. So as soon as you click on grid, automatically it populates the entire editor, right? There you go. So what you just need to do is to adjust it or resize it. There you go. Now, let's say I'll be putting in pictures to this grids. So what I would do if I will use my own picture is go to uploads and then just drag the image. Let's just use pictures from our photo library. There you go. Let's go with, let's say, beach. Then just click on photos. There you go. There. So again, just drag it to your grid. All right. Now, let's say you want to adjust how your picture looks like within the grid. So what you can do is to double click the image, right? And then adjust it. Like if you want to left center it or right center it, or for this one. Other than that, you could adjust the spacing of the grids. But depending on your design or depending on your preference, right? And in here also, you don't need to edit the image separately. So just click on the image and then the edit image option should appear. And then you could change it. Like if you want to add filter, if you want to add shadows and so on. Okay. There. Now, other than that, as you may know, Canva is already integrated with a lot of applications already or different apps. And these are some of the examples. So if you want to insert an emoji in your design, you could find that by going to or by clicking more on your side panel. And then it should be under apps and integrations. So for emoji, so just select emoji. There you go. So all of this is the same emojis that you have on your social media accounts and so on. So let's go with this graduation for teachers there. All right. Or let's say if you want to create an engaging presentation. So I suggest inserting GIFs on your design. So again, you could do that by clicking on more and then should be under apps and integrations, right? And then Jiffy. Let's go with this. There you go. Right. Now on to the next Canva feature. We have charts. And this one, I'm really excited about this because you could do a lot of things like with our charts, because you could find charts in the side panel as well by clicking on elements, right? And then scroll down, and then you should be able to see charts. So just click on see all for you to view all different types of charts in there. So for this one, let's say we're gonna be using line chart. So let's go with this. Okay. Now, this is what I'm really excited about, because for our charts, this is not just a picture or a graphic of chart, because this is actually a working chart. So what you can do is to just click on the chart, click on edit, right? And then just edit the data. So say 50, there you go. So it updates real time. 90. Amazing, right? So let's say this is Midas. This is this. All right, cool. Right? And I'm gonna show you something real cool as well. So click on the chart and then edit. Now let's say the data will be coming from Excel or Google Sheet. So what you can do is like this is an example Google Sheet data. So let's say we want this data on your chart. So what you just need to do is to copy it, all right? Copy, then go back to your design and hold on, edit. Click here, click on where you want to paste it. So there. So as you can see, it automatically populates, or the data was already copied on the chart, right? So let's do that again. So let's clear data. Say we want to paste it here. There you go. All right. So that's the end of our activity. And I hope you guys learned a lot from this activity. Now, like what I mentioned earlier, what you can do with that workbook, you could use that even after this session. So you can play around, you can practice on your end, all right? So that you would know how to navigate, or you will be familiar on how to use Canva. Now, going back to our presentation. So again, just a little review on what we did. So we talked about adding a text on your design, mix and matching of fonts, adding shapes, color, elements, grouping and locking, grids and frames, Canva apps, and charts. Now, my question for you guys is that what Canva feature are you most excited to use? For me, definitely will be the chart and the grouping. Charts, definitely. Yeah, for me, chart is very helpful, especially for presentation, for meetings. If you want to present something to your boss, or even in schools, like for teachers, they want to present the passing rate for your students, right? Charts and the shortcuts, frames and grids. Nice. Charts and emoji and GIFs. All right, cool. Thank you, guys. Color correcting photos. Can we do this? How to, all right, for your questions, we'll be answering that later on. Okay. There, moving stickers. All right, there you go. Now, that is the end of the first part of our webinar, which is Canva 101. Now let's jump on to the second part, which is presentation to impress. All right. There. So presentation to impress. on the chat, I want you guys to tell me, why do you think presentations need to be impressive, or any other adjectives? Like, why do presentations need to be persuasive, convincing, engaging, or good? To hold the attention of the audience, that's correct. Convert leads, I like that. To engage the audience, to keep people's attention, capture attention. I like this. So what's the point if they are not? All right. To be memorable, to get message across. I like your ideas, guys. To catch attention, to help drive engagement, for interest and engagement. All right. That's good. All right. Now, to present is to communicate, and to communicate is human, right? So whenever we present, we wish to educate, reflect, and connect. That's why each presentation, each opportunity to communicate should be done impressively. Because definitely, we should not settle for anything less, right? For example, if you're going to share a good story to your friend, you want it to be impressive, right? You want it to be good, right? Avoid death by PowerPoint from Anne McKay. Yeah. All right. Now, in creating your presentation, there are 4 elements. So you need to consider visuals, story, delivery, and strategy. And we'll be focusing on these 2, which is visuals, which is a design, elements applied in your slides, and then storytelling, principle, and structure. All right. So let's start with design and visuals. So currently, we all know that with our current situation, we are living in a very visual society now, right? So whether we admit it or whether we like it or not, we tuned in more to well-designed presentations. Do you agree? Right? Okay. There you go. So in creating a presentation, under visuals and design first, you need to think like a designer, right? Because design is a creative communication, or it is a way of communicating creatively. And then if you have a graphic designer friend, you can ask them how they create a design. I believe they would answer that in creating a design, everything should be deliberate and serves a purpose. For example, on this slide, there is a purpose why this element is here, and why this text or this, why this text is here, and why we use this font. So same goes with creating a presentation. So in creating a presentation or the slides or the design of your slides, everything should be deliberate and everything should be there for a purpose, right? So again, you need to think like a designer. And then in creating a design, there are 4 factors that you need to consider. First, we have color, we have text, we have imagery, and we have layout. Now let's start with color. We're gonna do some little activity here. You can type in your answer on the chat. So if you know the answer, again, type it in on the chat. Question is, complement of colors and using difference of lighting is called what? A, color wheel, B, color contrast, C, color palette, D, color picker. We have letter A, letter B, a lot of B's. Color contrast, correct? Right, nice. All right. So if you answered color contrast, you are correct. Because color contrast, it actually controls the focus of your audience on your design, right? I'm gonna show you an example. What can you say about this slide? Vibrant, too luminous, not enough contrast, hard to read, hideous, too bright, not good. Yeah, I would have to agree. So as you can see on this, it's not easy on the eyes because it doesn't have, I mean, it does have contrast, but it's not a very good contrast, right? Now, what can you say about this? Better, much better, cool, so much better, clear, easier to read, like a Facebook vibe, like that. Good contrast. You agree, right? So this one is easier on the eyes. So yeah, you would like, you're not gonna be bothered with the color, with the design, and then you will focus more on the topic or on what this slide is about, which is financial planning and how to make it global, right? Now, another color tip. So in selecting a background for your presentation, you need to consider that dark background is relaxing to the eyes, and it will help your audience to focus on the content or the text or image on your slides. All right, because light background, it steals the focus from you, which is the presenter. Okay, and these are some of the examples on how you could do that for dark backgrounds. All right, and then for light background, a little tip, because for a light background, it is ideal to use for presentation with a lot of slides. So definitely, so I'm seeing a comment here, it says so bright. So having a light background, it will catch your audience attention. So for a presentation with a lot of slides, this will serve as their cue that you are on to the next topic. So you could use light background slides for transition slides. So it would serve like a refresher. So imagine like when I switch from this to this and then this, it caught your attention, right? So it gave you a cue that we are on to the next slide, that we are on to the next topic, right? So that your presentation or the entirety of your slide will not be boring, right? And these are some of the ways of doing it. All right. Now, on to the next factor, which is text or typography. So in creating a presentation, readability is very, very important, because if no one can read your slides, what's the point of adding text to it, right? So it's just going to be a decoration if they cannot read it. And it will get your audience, it will confuse your audience, right? Now, also in adding text to your design, it can also help signify the tone and the mood that you want to set in your presentation. Do you agree? All right. Now, another activity here, same thing. You can type in your answer on the chat. So Open Sans Light, Open Sans Extra Bold, and so on. These are examples of what? A, font pairing. B, font and back. C, font serif. D, font family. Wow, nice. I'm seeing a lot of D's, font family. You guys did your homework. That's good. All right. Now, if you answered font family, you guys are correct. So with font family, it helps with consistency or the hierarchy of your design. And it would make your design look neat, right? Again, it will be easy on the eyes. So if in cases that you're not confident, or if you do not know what font goes better with other font, the safest way to do it, or the safest bet, is to use font family. You can never go wrong with font family. All right. I'm going to show you an example. What can you say about this slide? About text. So it says here, the art of florals, introduction to arranging. So ikebana is Japanese art of floral arrangement, and so on. Readable, easy to read. That's correct. There, too much text. Oh, but okay, actually, this slide, it's okay, but there are ways to make it better, right? What can you say about this? Less is more. Better. All right, better. Easy on the eyes. I like that. This is an improvement, correct? Minimal is our ways. That is correct. So as you can see, remember I told you earlier that if you're gonna see a slide with a lot of text, your audience might be bored, and there are a big chance of that they will not read the entire text, right? So what you can do is to summarize it. Just keep the main points of that presentation, and then what you can do on the other information that you removed from here, you can use that as a talking points while discussing this slide, right? And also you can see the font family or the font pairing here. It's nice, right? So again, you could use the other information that you removed from this before you summarized it, and then make it like use that as a talking points while discussing this slide. All right. Another example. What can you say about this? So it says here that they increase the engagement of their social media relationship to 98%. So presentations are versatile communication tools, right? Focus on the number. I like that. So I like that. I like that comment. Focus on the numbers. So another way of doing it is through this, right? So again, by using the right text when it comes to hierarchy or the contrast itself, it would help your audience to focus on what you want them to focus on your slide. So with this, you would already know that they increased by 98%. So that's the highlight. That's the main idea of this slide, right? So it's better compared to this one. Like this doesn't have, I don't know, like a lot of information, not really a lot of text, but you wouldn't really know what the speaker is trying to focus on here, right? Compared to this one. Now, on to the next factor in creating a design. We have imagery and graphics. Now, type in your answer again. So, which is not an example of proper use of imagery and graphics? A, overlaying a photo with a paragraph. B, utilizing clear space. C, turning words into diagrams. D, using contrast in text. Seeing a lot of A's. Overlaying a photo with a paragraph of text. And you guys are correct. Remember that if you overlay a photo with a paragraph of text, a designer somewhere cries when you do this. So like it's like murdering your design, right? I'm gonna show you an example of some slides here. What can you say about this? So this is a slide of a teacher showing why bees are awesome. Ugly, loud, all over the place. Horrible. Oh my God, stop. From Michelle. All right. From Natalie Bear to Bissy. Bissy as a bee. From 60s. Yeah, I would agree. Like somehow I'm guilty before Canva. So I used to do this. Another example. What can you say about this? Oh my God. So I love your reaction, guys. Awful. No, unreadable. Yeah. So just by having this slide, the designer is currently crying now. There's nothing you can say. And actually, I would agree. Like when I did some of my presentations way back in college or in high school, I did this. Yeah, PowerPoint era. So like some of us are guilty with this. So what I'm trying to point out here is that yeah, you cannot read the text. So you don't know what the speaker is trying to point out here. You don't know where to focus. Should I be focusing on the picture or should I be focusing on the text? Right? So, and I know that there are times that you cannot avoid that there might be a need for you to overlay a text in your design. And I'm gonna show you a better way of doing it here. What can you say about this? This is better, right? And I love how they did this. So they put in a text, they overlaid the text on the picture, but then they put like a border, this purple here, so that the text would still be readable, right? And I love what they chose as an image here, which is a hand or a man writing. So it really relates to the text. So presentations are communication tools that can be used as lectures, speeches, and so on, right? So this is the right way of doing it. I like it, like professional look, definitely. Love the simplicity. Right, there you go. Now I'm gonna show you another example here. What can you say about this slide? So it says here, the topic of this slide is the health benefits of watermelon. So yeah, a lot of information about about the benefits of watermelon in here. And to be honest, I'm not gonna read all of this, right? Many people are still doing it. Now, one way of doing it better is by adding images or pictures or graphics to your design, right? So I'm gonna show you an example. What can you say about this? So they summarize it that watermelons are a low-calorie treat that helps you hydrate and so on. Fresh, nice, better, cute. Right. I love your comments. Great improvement. Or another way of doing it is through this, right? So again, all of the text or all of the information from here, you could use that as the talking points while you're discussing the slide. And another way of doing it is through this, right? You could play around with colors as well. Colors and illustrations. Need the watermelon in the center. Yeah, I would agree. We could add that. Keeps getting better. I know. There you go. Now, for the last factor that you need to consider in creating a design for your presentation, we have layout. So in layout, consistency is cool. Now, for this, in layout, a question is which text do we usually read? A, ones that have bigger font sizes, ones that are small and italicized, ones that have the same color as the background, the ones that looks like the other text. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of A's. And you guys are correct. So it's letter A, ones that have bigger font sizes. So again, I showed this on the previous slide examples. As you can see, for the titles of the topics, for the text that they want to highlight on their presentation, that they want to point out to their audience, normally it's, if it's not in bold, the font size is bigger than the other, right? So again, that also applies with the contrast of the text. So your audience would know where to focus, or it leads their eyes to focus on the title or on the text that have the bigger font sizes. Right? Now, this is a great tip when it comes to layout. Let's say you're done with your presentation. So what you can do, especially here in Canva, so if you are on the presentation template, you would find the grid view of all of your slides within that presentation for you to be able to check your flow. So checking your flow, it's like having a bird's eye view of what the entire presentation would look like. So let's say you have slides with a lot of text consecutively. So that will be boring for your audience, right? And then having this bird's eye view, you would know if you have too much light or dark background, right? So this is one way of making sure that your entire presentation will look good. Do you agree? Like for this example, so I would know that like pictures, text, combination, and all. So I know that my presentation or the entirety of the slide will not be boring, correct? Now, that's it when it comes to creating an engaging presentation by thinking like a designer. I mean, thinking like a designer. Again, to create an impressive presentation, aside from thinking like a designer, you should think like a storyteller, right? Now, thinking like a storyteller. So you should be able to tell your story in creating your presentation. We already know that design is empowering. And I believe that in telling a story, people might say that they do not have stories to tell. But as you may know, we all have stories to tell. What we are actually concerned about is that no one will listen to your story. You agree? And we are here to change that. Okay? So it's Robert McKee said that stories are the currency of human contact, which is correct. So much of how we communicate, how we remember, how we make sense of things, we tell that or we share it through stories. That's why storytelling is important, and we could relate that in creating your presentation, in presenting itself, right? Now, here are we have two elements of creating a good story. So first, stories feature transformation. So when people hear a story, they root for the protagonist as they overcome obstacle and emerges change in some important ways. So I would relate this to our favorite superhero movies. So they start the story by how the protagonist starts from being bullied, then learning how to stand up for himself, then there will be conflict, finally the victory. So are you getting it? Like the layers on how they create stories because of the transformation of the protagonist, right? And then the other one will be stories have a clear structure. So a great narrative and a compelling plot defines a good story. So in this case, it defines a great presentation, right? Now, I know that in telling a story, you create emotional texture, right? Or you can add an emotional texture for your story to be engaging, for your audience to relate to your stories, and we could apply that to presenting by including anecdotes or shocking statistics that will help tickle the mind of your audiences to what your topic is all about. So these little texture will actually create a dimension to your presentation. So this is like going back to telling your story. This is what like for our superhero story example, the texture will be the adventure of your hero within that story. So something that your audience can relate to, or if not really relate to, something that will help them be more interested on your topic. Like even at the end of the presentation, they would like to know more, especially if it's like a series of presentation or a series of webinar. So they will be excited to know more or to attend the next topic because of the because of how you delivered it or how you presented it. All right. And this is an example of the traditional story plot. So we have the setup, we have the confrontation, and we have the resolution. Now think of your favorite stories or TV shows, books, or movies. If you would notice, they get us excited or hooked on what's going to happen next. And we want to be able to translate that to how we present as well. So you have to get your audience to be excited to get to the next slide, right? Now, This is a Sparkline story plot. So Sparklines are a way of mapping presentation structure. So our graphic Nancy Duarte, she said that an idea is powerless if it stays inside you, and how it gets presented and communicated matters a lot. And I personally agree with that. Like if it's just an idea and you're not gonna present it well, that's gonna be useless, right? So for this Sparkline story plot, this is very useful for like if you were having a presentation for nonprofits, or a presentation if you want to inspire your audience, or like for example, inspirational presentations to create a strong advocacy that we want to get people on board, like we want to convince them to believe on the topic, or again if it's a nonprofit or inspirational, if you want them to join your advocacy. Okay, now to break down the story Sparkline story plot, so we have to craft the beginning. So we have what is and we have what could be. So for what is, this is the history or the event that is brought up to this point. So in your presentation, it gives the situation or the current reality, why you are at that very moment, right? And then what could be would be, this is the motivation of your audience to take on the adventure. So this gives the realization to your audience that they can change their reality. So this is where you can share your big ideas. Like, why is the story worth tuning into, or why is your presentation worth tuning into? If we can relate it to your favorite TV series, let's say for the pilot episodes, right? So in there, you would already know, I mean, the pilot episodes would determine if you still want to continue watching the entire episodes, or I mean, yeah, the other episodes, right? That's how important it is to craft the beginning. And then next will be develop the middle. So play up with contrast. So continue to emphasize the contrast between what is and what could be. Because this is, at this time, people should be nodding their heads in recognition, because you're actually articulating what they already understand. And at this time, they should already be hooked to your presentation. And this creates a bond between you and them, and opens them up to hear ideas for change. Or this should be the time wherein, like, if you ask a question, they will be responding, they will be engaging, they would agree to what you are saying, and so on. All right. And now, lastly, you have to make the ending powerful. All right. So creating a powerful ending, like for example, leaving a quote, or leaving a question or a challenge that will make them think about your topic even after it is done. So like what I've said earlier, you need to keep your audience hooked to your presentation up to the point that even if your topic is done, they would still think about it. It will intrigue them. It would sometimes it would result them to research more about your topic. Okay. So again, this is the Sparkline story plot. So you have to craft the beginning, play around with the contrast on your middle, and then create a powerful ending so that your presentation will have a recall to your audience. Okay. Now, that's the end. Creating an impressive or engaging presentation. Again, first, for you to be able to do that, you have to think like a designer, and then you have to think like a storyteller. There you go. So as what is mentioned here, the future isn't a place that we're going to go. It's a place that you get to create. So remember that presentation inspires human connection and action. And a truly impressive presentation are when ideas are shared and stories are told. All right. So that's it for me.
If you want to find more upcoming webinars, there's that webpage I just spoke about, canva.com/canva-space. And you can see at the top there, see event schedule, and you'll be able to click to see all, see there it is, the purple button at the top, see event schedule, and you'll be able to see all the upcoming webinars there. And if you're a Canva lover and you want more tips and tricks, I highly recommend you join the Canva Design Circle. Facebook.com/groups Canva Design Circle is the place to be. Over, actually, it's gone up since then. It's over 130,000 members now. So that's a place where people share their designs, they get feedback on the designs, you hear about product rollouts, you get to ask your questions, you get to see other people's designs and get super inspired. I'm always super inspired when I go on there and I see what people are creating.
Yes.
The ingenuity blows me out of the park. So definitely join our Canva Design Circle for more Canva goodness. And that wraps it up for today. So. Yeah, I hope so. Absolutely brilliant to have you on board today. And thank you again, Midas. So take care, everyone.
Thanks for all your help. Have a good day, everyone.
We hope to see you at another Canvas Space webinar. Goodbye.
Thank you.